Like, if I could just go back and like slap myself in the face, be like, dude, you have to do this. If it's the last thing you ever do, you need to do this. It's so important because like I just know how different things would be like. The entire time after Bloodbath, I was grinding other stuff and beating other like top 10 levels, but always was practicing Sonic Wave in the background, always trying to make progress, always uploading like start position runs on my YouTube and shit. And so I was trying really hard, and then like out of nowhere, a guy called me Feely uploads like a 72% progress video, right? And like this is back in the day where okay, it's gonna sound like I have an ego here, but it's kind of true. Like I was at the top, like nobody was close.
Yeah,
and so
I mean,
when I saw
it just is true.
When I saw like some random guy I've never heard of put up like 72 on Sonic Wave, and that's like nobody at that point had ever made it to the second wave from zero. I was like, who is this guy, right? So I was like, we started looking into it, and it was like, it turned out he was more of what you would call like a journeyman in sports, where he's like, he's not technically like super skilled, but he's the kind of guy who's so dedicated that he'll put in so many attempts and so many attempts. And
can I stop you for a sec?
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
Real quick. I just want to show people this, and you, if you're not aware. Did you know that Sonic Wave was almost a different color? I'll show you on the stream as well. Sonic Wave is actually... Do you want to know why he made it dark blue? He made it dark blue because he made a poll on Naver, and basically this says, like, give the color for Sonic Wave, and the choices are, like, orange, green, whatever, dark blue. And dark blue ended up winning, and this actually is a screenshot in a second of all of the entries and what they look like. I don't know if you've seen this before. Dude, check that out. That was the 6 colors that people on the Naver Cafe had to choose. Dude, Sonic Wave could have been orange.
Bro, would have been it looks like the other ones look like problematic, bro. Oh my god.
Anyway,
Black SW. Black
going.
SW. No way. So
I can't imagine it differently. But I think they did pick the right thing. Dark blue is definitely like.
Thank God for the neighbor.
That is
Keep
Sonic
going.
Wave.
I need to BRB real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So where was I? I forgot.
We're talking about Mr. Mifue.
Oh yeah. So like he had gotten to the second wave from zero. That was like, okay, this guy is definitely like good. And so I was explaining how he's kind of one of those like journeyman players where they're not necessarily the best, but they have put so many attempts into something that the muscle memory is so strong, right? So they can just get there. So at that point, I started taking it a lot more seriously, and me and him, we were kind of like frenemies in a sense. Like there was hostility between us because obviously we were the two like front runners for SW, so we were kind of had some hostility towards each other. But eventually, we became friends. We made like a small group chat with me and like so many other like people like Wabbit, guy called Gigas or Gygas, and then there was the notorious Auroras in that group chat, and we would just, dude, we would have so much fun together. We'd build layouts, we would fucking troll, we'd play Counter-Strike, we would do so many things. And so like throughout that time, me and Mifui became pretty decent friends, and he was dedicating his Sonic Wave completion to like I think his grandpa who had passed away, I believe.
Run Mifui, I just came back.
And so at a certain point, I felt like I wanted to let him basically do it first, just because of like out of respect. So I kind of stopped trying as hard and just kind of let him do his thing. And I promised him, I'm pretty sure I did like actually promise him that he could do it first. And so that is one of the reasons like why I never actually fully went through and completed it. And I kind of sat back and let him do it. But then I think eventually he just either quit or couldn't do it. I don't really remember how it went, but I know obviously Sunix popped up and I started playing it again because he had stopped. Mifui had stopped. And like, that whole thing, like obviously I didn't verify it, but that's like, if I have any regrets in like this whole online thing I've done throughout most of my life, it would be not pulling through with Sonic Wave. Like, if I could just go back and like slap myself in the face, be like, dude, you have to do this. If it's the last thing you ever do, you need to do this. It's so important.
Yeah.
Because like I just know how different things would be. Like, I know I have a great legacy in this game, but like Sonic Wave would have been the cherry on top, and I still regret it to this day that I wasn't like mentally strong enough to be able to pull through. Like, I was just at that point in like my playing career, if you want to call it, in GD, I was so like, it's kind of edgy to say, but I was kind of like damaged. Like, the way I viewed levels because of Bloodbath, like the experience of verifying Bloodbath, I don't think anybody can really share that experience today. It's just so, it's so different. Like, I think maybe the only person who could share that is Vision with Silent Club stuff, but he didn't even get to like actually verify it, right? So I don't know. It's just so hard. The process of verifying Bloodbath was, this is, I don't know, like, I've dealt with a lot of stressful stuff in my life outside of this game, but like, still, the process of going through verifying Bloodbath was one of the most stressful things I've ever done in my life. And it's crazy to say that, but again, you'd have to be able to like experience it. You had to be there to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but it was, and so like from that experience and feeling like everybody was counting on me and like I was at the top and everybody was watching me for so long, I had so much pressure. And so like by the time the Sonic Wave 96 thing happened, I was just so like mentally damaged. Like the level had beaten me mentally. Like, I was good enough to do it. I had put in enough practice, but that level had just beaten me mentally. Like, I couldn't do it. It was just so, it scared me. Like, every time I got far, I was just so nervous. I just couldn't do it.
Man, that's
so,
back
like,
then when levels were just so, they still are, but with our own bias from just being from that different generation, just levels are just so like scary. And that's no exception.
Yeah, and so like I think that's one of my, probably my only regret is like not having the mental fortitude to be able to pull through, because I know, like I said, my legacy in this game is great, but that would have been the cherry on top, and I just really wish I would have done it. And that's probably the only thing I would ever change about what I've done in this game is I wish I had been the guy to do Sonic Wave. I really still to this day regret that I wasn't. And honestly, like, that's like those experiences, like Bloodbath, even though I did pull through, and Sonic Wave are a lot of the reasons I am the way I am today with this game. Like, I don't know, people like to joke that I'm super old. I get it. It's like a fun gag, right? Like, but I'm only like 24. It is a lot older than most people in the community, but like 24 in like gaming terms is not really that old. Like,